Hello, welcome to today's video, and we are talking the little green monster. It's an important concept because it can do damage in both your dating and your relationships. And so today I'm going to give you a 5-step process to handle your jealousy. I'll see you in just a second. Welcome to today's video, and this is a topic that I'm personally super passionate about. How do you handle your jealousy? It's a massive topic, and in fact I'm going to do a second video a little bit later in the year to give you more strategies to handle your jealousy. But I think one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this topic, and it's one of the things that I believe separates my channel from a lot of other coaches, is that I work with clients really hard working on themselves. We do a lot of self-work and we do a lot of stuff on improving themselves, and this, handling your jealousy, is a huge topic in that area. So what is jealousy before we get into it? Jealousy is an instinctual response. It's a feeling coming from a very old part of our brain, evolutionarily speaking. Its purpose is to avoid surprise and betrayal, to gain back control, and to seek reassurance. In other words, if you see your boyfriend talking to another girl, you want to avoid surprise and betrayal of him leaving you. You want to gain back control, so the temptation is to get in there and do stuff and seek reassurance from him that he's still loyal to you. The problem is some of our brain's oldest evolutionary responses don't work so well in the modern world. Acting on jealousy is often detrimental to your dating and relationships today. And in fact, jealousy has caused a lot of anger, a lot of drama, and in some cases, even death in intimate relationships. So you need to know when it's appropriate, and while you're not wrong for feeling it, sometimes you can be wrong for acting on it. Okay, so 5 steps to handle jealousy. And the first step is very, very simple. In fact, you've probably already done it simply by being here. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you feel jealous because you can't fix any problem that you're denying. Step number 2 is stop yourself acting on it. While jealous feelings are normal, jealous actions are very rarely justified. So stop yourself acting on it. Revenge jealousy is never the answer. Step number 3. Now let's closely examine the feeling. Is your feeling of jealousy justified? And this is where you've got to have some brutal self-honesty. Do you not trust your partner for some reason? Has your partner done something to betray your trust? Is your partner intentionally making you jealous? If any of these are true, then it's going to be about communicating with your partner and asking yourself why you're with someone that you don't trust. But in most cases, none of these are going to be true. And that's where you have to own the feeling. Because if your jealousy isn't justified, and you can acknowledge that, the feeling is very normal, but acting on it, remember, is not the answer. So if you've answered no to all of those questions, and you've said, okay, this feeling is normal, but I also know that in this modern situation, it's not justified, then you're ready to begin working on it. Okay, step number 4, it's time to get to the root of the problem. What are the thoughts underlying your jealousy? See, any feeling that you have is caused by a thought. If a guy doesn't show up to a date, then you're either thinking, oh, he's being rude, or oh, something must have happened to him. The exact same scenario can produce different feelings depending on your thought. So let's examine the thoughts behind your jealousy. Be really honest with yourself and think, what are the thoughts? What's causing me to feel this? The reality is that jealousy is often correlated with lower self-esteem. And that's okay, but it's time for you to own that and examine those thoughts. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the thoughts that are underlying the feeling of jealousy and be brutally honest about the internal language that's going on in your mind. Are you thinking, he's going to leave me for her? Are you thinking, I'm not good enough to keep him? Are you thinking he'd never choose me over her? Are you thinking I need to stop him leaving me? Are you thinking I have to control this situation so that he won't leave me? Have a look at the underlying thoughts, and once you've identified them, write them down. Step number 5. Now, you've already got the thoughts down on paper that are causing you to feel jealous. If you haven't done that yet, I'd encourage you to pause the video and really examine the underlying thoughts. Once you've got them, what we need to do in step 5 is design some antidote thoughts. So these are thoughts that are going to counteract the negative ones that are making you feel jealous. Each time you find yourself feeling jealous and thinking those thoughts, you've got to practice and get into the habit of thinking your new replacement thoughts. This isn't something you do once or twice, it's a habit that you've got to keep up because you've been in the habit of thinking jealous thoughts, so you're going to have to get in the habit and get good practice of thinking your antidote thoughts. For example, he's going to leave me for her. Your antidote thought might be, he can leave me for her, but he'd be an idiot to do so. I'm not good enough to keep him. Your antidote thought might be, if he cheated, it would prove he's not good enough to keep me. I hate that women hit on him. Your antidote thought for that one might be, I love that he's an attractive man, and if I'm honest, I wouldn't have it any other way. I have to stop him leaving me. Or you could replace that one with, if he's silly enough to leave me, I will be just fine. I have to stop this happening and control the situation. Or you can replace that with, I don't have to control this situation because I trust him. Figure out what your antidote thoughts are. So there's some examples there, but figure out what yours are. If you're not sure, go back to step 4. Examine the underlying thoughts and figure out what the antidotes are. And then every time you catch yourself thinking the first thought that's making you jealous, practice thinking your antidote thought. So those are the 5 steps. Now, as I said, I'm going to do another video on this, but I want to just give you one more little bonus step right now to help you handle your jealousy, because sometimes those mindsets, your antidote mindsets, can be hard to keep in mind and hard to believe at the time. So I'd say this little bonus step is use your jealousy as a trigger to work on yourself. In other words, every time we feel jealous, it's usually because we're not feeling that good, we're a bit insecure, and we're not feeling like the prize that logically we know we are. So use jealousy not just as a trigger to think your antidote thoughts, but as a trigger to work on yourself. So he goes out with his friends and you know girls are going to be hitting on him. You can sit at home being jealous and hoping that he calls you and then harassing him to call you and then him wanting to get away. Or you can say, wait, I'm feeling jealous. That's a trigger to work on myself. Okay, what can I do extra this week for work? What hobby can I pursue right now? Which friends can I hang out with? How can I make a plan for this week to kick more ass in my life than I've ever kicked before? Use jealousy as a trigger to work on yourself, and it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to keep in mind all those antidote mindsets that stop you being jealous. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, there are some more advanced strategies. So once that next video is out, I'm going to put that one in the description as well. But that should give you something to use right now to instantly make you feel better and stop yourself feeling jealous, especially and importantly, if that jealousy is unjustified. Jealous feelings are normal, but jealous actions are not and can be extremely toxic to your dating and relationships. Well, thank you so much for watching. That's the whole video. I'd encourage you to leave a comment. Make sure you leave your thoughts, comments, questions, etc. below. Give the video a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell so you get notifications when new videos are out. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video very soon.